Okay, first, let's talk about this is what I'm saying about the activism of Afro-Brazilian women, particularly in the last decade or so. They call for the end of what's called the globaleza mulata. Now, the globaleza mulata is what I was talking about. I think there's been, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6. I haven't watched them as of, in the recent years, but there's been a number of like lighter skinned Black women, quote unquote mulatas, and they're featured in these commercials that signal that Carnival is coming. And as you can see, she's only really covered with body paint. So after years of these images, Black women were calling for the end of this. I don't think it ended that, but the fact that they were speaking about it, it speaks volumes. Hold up. I got to interrupt this video real quick because I forgot to point something out. So this article that I posted, it's from 2016. It calls for the end of the Globaleza Mulata, a manifesto. I forgot to point out that this article, obviously this is my piece right here, but the article that I translated is actually by Stephanie Ribeiro and Djamila Ribeiro. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with them, these are probably two of the most well-known Black feminists in Brazil. I mean, most of you have become familiar with them. You probably just don't know that you've been familiar with them. Djamila Ribeiro was actually given, the International Global Good Honor Award by the BET Awards in 2021. If I talked about this in a previous video, where Brazilians have been increasingly nominated. I don't think anybody's won yet, but we've seen Brazilians nominated at the BET Awards and the BET Hip Hop Awards over the last few years. Djamila took home an award for her work. Okay, as I've said, I'll talk a little bit more about Djamila Ribeiro in the future, but I just wanted to bring this out, that this article was actually written by both of these women. Both of them have the surname of Ribeiro. The other Ribeiro is Stephanie Ribeiro. She is the one who blew up this whole story with Austin Holloman. She took to her Instagram. What was it? It's been about a week now, I guess. It's been, I don't know, about a week since this whole thing blew up. And because of her large following, her popularity, she's been a host on a television program. And her star has just grown over the last decade or so. So she's the woman who brought this story about Austin Holloman to the public. I just recently saw that her and her husband participated in an interview in English. I can't remember the name of the YouTuber who posted the interview, but it looks like it's a couple of hours long of the interview. So I just wanted to post this because when as I was reviewing this video, I'm like, wow, I forgot to point this out. Stephanie Ribeiro and Djamila Ribeiro actually collaborated on this article that I'm talking about right now. So anyway, that's it. Let's get back to the video. This article is from 2016. If I'm not mistaken, I think the year after this, they actually put this woman in clothing. Now, the intriguing part about this woman in this picture is that she replaced, generally, the Globaleza Mulata is clearly a Black woman, but she has lighter skin usually when she's chosen, right? One particular year, and I talked about this in a documentary about this British, I think The Guardian, if you look it up online, they talked about this. And a dark-skinned Black woman won that contest to replace the last Globaleza, who was a lighter skin. Matter of fact, all of them usually are around the same color as this woman here. Matter of fact, as you see from the pictures here, this is the most famous one. Her name was Valeria Valença. There was another girl named Aline Prado. I think this is her right here. This is her here. There's been at least 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Okay, this woman right here. Her name was, what was her name? Nayara. Her name was Nayara, and she won the contest that year to replace Aline Prado. But when she won, it was like a reality show they made it out of. They narrowed it down out of 10 women to choose a woman who would replace Aline Prado. This is an article on the blog. She won the contest, but after she won and her commercial started coming out, Brazilians went nuts. They started insulting her, get that monkey out of here. They verbally pummeled her, and Global actually took her out of the slot because of public rejection. And then they chose a girl with the traditional color. You know, she's clearly black, but she's lighter color, you know, of a lighter color. So that it was humiliating for her. Can you imagine she won the contest and then they just got rid of her because of public rejection? So to replace the previous Globaleza, this happened in 2013. They needed to replace the outgoing Globaleza girl. And before the final show came down and Nayada, the darker skinned woman, was chosen, there was a picture featuring popular actress Sharon Menezes. She was criticized for posing between the backsides of Globaleza contestants. So this was the picture that, you know, it provoked outrage. So it's like, okay, Sharon Menezes is black, but that doesn't mean she was above criticism. People were mad about this photo. It's just like, okay, we're trying to get away from this sexualized image of Afro-Brazilian women. And then you have a black woman herself standing, you know, between, you know, these black women's backsides. So, you know, she was criticized for that. As I said, later on, this looks like, I think this is Nayada right here. She ended up winning the contest. But this is, again, we've seen a lot of the t-shirts that were produced in Brazil for World Cup, and they featured the upside down heart, showing basically, you know, the upside down heart, you know what that represents. And this is what they were using on the t-shirts. So, you know, people were pissed about this this particular photo. It's like, how could you do that? You know, you're a black woman and, you know, you're going to share a picture like this. I think she tweeted this out. I don't know, it might be on Facebook, not sure. But, you know, people weren't happy about this. What else do we have here? So as I said, they were calling for it into the Globaleza Mulata. What else do we have? Well, let's just go in order. Okay, this is an article that, you know, it takes its title after the poem by Elisa Lucinda, saying, you know, again, this idea that if you have sex with a black person, you can't be racist, right? So that's what the title is saying. To stop being racist, my love, is not to F a mulata. Considerations on racist compliments. So you see black Brazilian women in the media over the years, they've always been presented as almost like a product. They call it what is the mulatas de fora da mapa, something like that. These the out of this world mulatas. They're saying they have another image that's called the mulata de exportação, like the exportation mulata. This is something that we're going to send around the world for people to enjoy, right? So black women have been used as a product, you know, there's been tours of the mulata dancers that have traveled all over the world. So this is the image that people have of the Brazilian woman. It's, you know, this strong image of the sexualized mulata has been in place in Brazil for decades. So people were breaking down what they consider some to be, you know, some of these comments that people make were supposed to be compliments. When you look at some of the things that people say, they're actually quite racist. I mean, this picture says it all right here. You know, so you think of Brazilian women, and this is the image that comes to mind. So you see this type of picture here. When someone says you are a mulata of the exportation type, right? So again, this is the image. You know, Austin Holloman spoke about this in a video, how he saw these images as a child, and he says, I wanted to go to Brazil ever since I was a little kid. But you know, when you see these type of images, you know, what comes to mind? And I have to wonder, as a little kid, what provokes you to want to go to a country when you see women dressed like this? Let's see, what else do we have here? So here's another one. It says, message to whoever loves Brazilian Carnival, the black woman is not your sex object. This is from another black women's group. It seems pretty similar to the article that I just read, but I think this is another black women's group. And this is from the Coletivo Negração. So they're saying basically the same thing that the other article was saying. Again, here's the same phrase, you know, effing a mulata doesn't make you less racist, right? I can't even read. Some of this is cut off. Mia Carne, the Carnival. No, okay, so it's saying I would like to see what the whole sign says, because it looks like it's cut off there. It says, my flesh is of Carnival and I'm not your sexual object. So this is what I'm saying. People have been protesting against these images for some years. So when Passport Bros talk about traveling to Brazil, I saw a guy who posted a comment that says, you know, all Brazilian women are for sale. You know, they should check some of this out, because this type of rejection of how Brazilian women are stereotyped is what led to the protest that led to Austin Holloman leaving the country. And as I'm saying, maybe if he had to come across some of these articles before, maybe his behavior would have been different. Anyway, what's next? What else do I have here? Here from 2014, it's something that I could go on a series. It was a television series from, again, Brazil's top television network called Sexo e as Negras. Basically, it's like how you translate that as sex and the negras, you could say. The sex and the negras. And this television program was supposed to have been a Brazilian response to the popular American series Sex and the City, whereas that series was supposed to feature middle-class white women. This series was supposed to be about lower-class Black women from favelas, right? So from the time that series debuted, Black women took to the internet to protest against it. I mean, from before it even debuted, just the descriptions of the show had already led to protests. So Black Brazilian women, I don't know if they're all feminists, but probably I'm quite sure a lot of them consider themselves feminists. They took to the internet and said, this sex es negatives does not represent me. That's what all of these signs are saying. And these women posted these pictures all over the internet. Sex and es negatives does not represent me. What else we have? All of these women posing with these signs and posting them online. They vehemently rejected this television series. It's like, it's rare that you find Black women as the leads in television programs in Brazil. And then when they produce one, they present images this way that Black Brazilian women are trying to get away from. Obviously the actresses in the series had to, speak positively of the show, because obviously this is their job. I saw Global sent out some of its top Black actors to give its support to the program because it was facing such heavy criticism from Black women online. This is the director, white man, Miguel Falabella, right? So they didn't succeed in getting the program taken off the air while it was on. The whole series played. I think it was, 12, 13, 14 episodes. But it was announced towards the end of the series that they would not be coming back for a second season. It was just too much of a hassle. Like, Black women came after them. And they succeeded, I would have to say, because we didn't hear about this show again. It was just totally forgotten about. But I covered this for the whole series that it was on. It was just, it left much, well, in some ways, it left little to the imagination, because they were showing these Black women in so many different sexual scenes. And it's like, okay, they're going to continue to present this type of image. So, like I said, Black women organized, and that show didn't come back. And like I said, I think I might have posted 10 articles about that particular series. Here's another one. This is from 2013. This was like only a couple of years, about a year and a couple of months after I had actually started the blog. And this is when I really realized that this was a new era in Brazil, because this campaign by this popular hair product, the type of advertisement that they were using to promote their product, it pinched a nerve with a lot of Black women. They took it as racist. So it says here, Black Brazilian women mobilized against a racist hair campaign ad featuring people wearing Afro wigs. And so this is what they did. They were basically giving people were participating in their ad campaign, and they were using these big fluffy Afro wigs. And the signs that they were holding is saying, "I need Cadivil," which is a popular Brazilian hair product. I think it might be shampoo and conditioner. But why would you choose this type of hair to say, people, well, you don't want your hair to look like this, so you need to use our product? So then people, again, in the same way that they protested against sexy as niggas, they protested against this ad campaign also. You see right here, no Cadivil, yes to natural. We don't need Cadivil, is what they were saying. All of these women right here, they took online, they took their messages online. I don't need this Cadivil-ish, and neither straightening of any way. I love my Afro, this woman says. And so you see other people. This was the woman who wrote the article, Winnie Bueno. So this is the atmosphere that we're in, or that, this is where the mind of a lot of Black women is these days. It's like, we're not going to put up with these images of ourselves, denigrating our images online anymore. Here's another protest that came up. I mean, there's several more I could get into. I just wanted to, again, I'm giving you an idea of the environment these days. way back in 2011, maybe, when I first became aware of this carnival group called the Nega Maluca. And I saw a group of people dressed up in blackface, a group of women. And I says, what's going on with this? Of course, blackface has been considered racist in the United States for a long time. But then when I saw this was happening in Brazil, I'm like, how come nobody's protesting this? It would be another couple of years, but eventually Black Brazilians started waking up and saying, no, we don't appreciate these images. You're denigrating our Blackness. So in that particular year, it said for Carnival, please don't dress up as Nega Maluca. It's a stereotypical image that's translated as crazy Black woman. And they're saying it's not funny. No more. I had a piece from some years ago that asked, is Brazil the new home, the new headquarters of blackface? Because for some years there, it seemed like sightings of blackface was just going on all over the country. People just thought it was funny. It's cute to dress up in blackface. As I said, in the city of Niterói, which is in the state of Rio, across the bridge from the city of Rio, there's a whole carnival group that dresses up as the Nega Maluca. Okay. So this is what they were calling out. Like, look, this is not funny. We don't find it funny. We would appreciate it if you would stop dressing up this way. Another instance where people stood up and says, this ain't cool. We would appreciate it if you would respect how we look and not dress up this way. Then, of course, in 2015, we had the historic first Black Women's March, which brought thousands to the nation's capital of Brasilia. I don't remember the numbers there, but I remember that for a while they organized this big march in 2015. So, have to say Black women organized, and they are very organized today. So I'm saying this is what the capital city looks like. It's the seat of the federal government in Brazil. Don't know if you guys heard about the uprising that was kind of like a copy of January 6th. And Brazilian people stormed the Congress on January 8th, like almost 2 years to the day after it happened in the United States. But, so this is the capital city, Brasilia, where this first March of Black women went down in 2015. Some of the images there. So this is what I'm saying about what people need to understand, particularly African-American men who are traveling to Brazil. This is the environment today. So don't think that every woman is part of sexual tourism. They're not part of a group who wants to go home with you on the same night. As JJ, who I interviewed a few days ago, as he said, like, look, yeah, you can find those women there on the streets. They're working. We have red light districts here too. If you're looking for prostitution, you can find it, even though it is actually illegal. But this does not represent every Brazilian woman. So this is something that you'll see, these types of protests. So, that Black women in Brazil are just saying, look, respect us. We're not all for sale. Even, some really, really nice pictures we have here. Anyway, let me see what else here. Global Television's G1 website. And this actually is just, a group of the pictures that was taken from the hair product that chose to use Afro wigs to say, this is why you need our product. It was a brincadeira. It was a joke by the company with hair products, and it generated protest on the internet. So the Cadeville company, they published photos in like I don't know, like what do you call those tents where people sell their products, like a fair, and they were using perucas, means wigs. Now in Brazil, understand when they say black power in Brazil actually means Afro. So they're using peruca de tipo black power, which means an Afro wig. So women with cabelo crespo, meaning curly kinky hair, protested and said that the brand is prejudiced. So these are just some of the pictures that they put together. You notice that there's even pictures of Black women in here using this wig. The beauty fair is called Eu Preciso de Cadeville. I need Cadeville to fix this. Look at this hair. You need this product to fix your hair, right? So this is what it was saying. So then it generated a protest on Facebook where Black women responded and says, no, I don't need Cadeville, because they were saying, I like my hair the way that it is. Because after decades, reality, centuries of Brazilian society rejecting natural Black hair, they were standing up and saying, no, we love our hair the way that it is. It took them decades to come to accept that Black, natural, kinky, curly hair, what they call cabelo crespo, should be seen as beautiful as well. This is one of the leaders of the group that was called Meninas Black Power, the Black Power. You want to translate it as the Afro girls, basically. Elida Batista, she was one of the women that led this protest online. I haven't seen much of her material lately, but I was following their blog for a number of years, Meninas Black Power, because they were promoting the idea that Black hair, the Afro can be beautiful. So anyway, this is just a short just review of the atmosphere in Brazil today. You can't just think that a lot of people come to this idea that Brazilian women are just passive and they want the Americans to come there and get with them. And that's not always the case. There is a segment of women who are looking to earn money from tourist dollars for selling their services, but a lot of women are not into that. So I'm just saying, this is why when you come into Brazil, you should respect all of the people there. You know, as JJ said in a video previously, he says, look, if you're looking for prostitution, you can't find it, but just understand every woman is not down for that. So I just wanted to, again, give an idea to present the environment in Brazil today so that you can understand that a lot of women don't play this, and this is what you'll run into if you should disrespect them. So anyway, I'm going to close the video here. Again, you can find all of this material on blackbraziltoday.com. You know, a lot of it's older material, but it's very relevant considering what's going on and the discussion that's going online about the so-called passport bros, sexual tourism, and then men looking for relationships, right? So if you like this video, if you picked up anything, if you learned anything from this video, definitely, you know, give me a like for this video, share it. Let's keep the conversation going. Subscribe to the channel, and then definitely push on, you know, smash that notification button so that you'll be one of the first people to see my videos as I post them up. So with that said, I hope to see you guys in the next video.